Stepping from our ordinary world into the fantastical, Immersive XP explores the weird and wonderful imaginations behind a diverse range of themed experiences. From virtual reality to escape rooms to live-action roleplay, nothing is off the table. We'll take a deep dive into what makes these adventures worth attending and which ones to avoid. Join me on a journey to explore the extraordinary and meet the people who make dreams a reality. Hello, it's another Wednesday episode of Immersive XP. I'm Taylor Forge, your non-binary host, based in Southern California, seamstress by trade, silly little guy by trauma. Favorite ride at Disneyland? A haunted mansion. Fun fact of the week. The longest escape room is called the Paradox Project in Athens, Greece. It not only focuses on creative puzzles, but has excellent narrative. If I have someone help me translate, this sounds like a dream escape room for me. This week's episode is a daily quest, which is any immersive experience with a low barrier to entry and no existing IP attached to it, but requires a certain level of interaction. The beginnings of Immersive XP as a concept was definitely inspired by escape rooms. This week, I tried 2 escape rooms back to back at Breaking Point in Rancho Cucamonga. The first room is called Headcase, which is the 4th best rated escape room in California, and the second is called The Secret at Whitmore Estate, which is the 9th best rated in the state. Headcase takes place following the events of a previous escape room called Patient 17. Dr. Levins has been kidnapping women as test subjects to find a cure for a disease that took his daughter's life. When an agent goes in and doesn't return, it is your job as the backup crew to rescue your fellow agent and find the missing women. For Headcase, I went with a group of 6 people, so we finished actually pretty quickly with our combined powers, even though it is their more challenging escape room. I felt like this escape room was pretty fresh and all the puzzles were in theme, and it had some fun twists in the plot, which was really fun, and we all enjoyed the twists. There's some visuals and video that played that helped move the plot along. We did have a few issues with some of the videos not working properly, but the game master over the loudspeaker was able to describe to us what was happening as a backup, which I thought was a little bit clever. Afterward, our group of 6 came together and decided that it was pretty well worth it, and we understand why it was rated so well. It was not the best escape room that I have attended, but it was definitely a great time. The Whitmore Estate follows the tale of Henry Whitmore, who inherited the home when all his family died from various circumstances. Henry then goes missing, and it is your job to figure out what happened. Perhaps it's just another haunted home. This escape room is very Haunted Mansion themed. They told that to us right up at the get-go. They're like, this one's Haunted Mansion themed. We're like, great, let's go. That one we had 4 in our group since 2 other people had to leave, and we had 3 minutes left on the clock when we finished. I felt these puzzles were less unique and more straightforward than Headcase. So when we did Headcase first, it kind of ruined us for the Whitmore Manor because we kept thinking that there had to be deeper meaning involved in the puzzles rather than the obvious choice. The clues were really obviously placed, and it made it feel less immersive and a little more cheesy. There was one puzzle we got stuck on forever until I realized it was just a play on words, and we all just screamed and groaned and shouted at the sky. But everything else was pretty simple in comparison to that. One of the things that made it a little bit tricky for us is at the get-go, they explained to us that the clues would only be needed once, which was untrue, and it led to a bit of confusion as we went along. There was really only one path from puzzle to puzzle, so it was better with a smaller group because there's not a lot that you can figure out at the same time compared to Headcase. The things that I liked. If you meet the minimum requirement of players, You have the whole room to yourself. No need to worry about having random people in your escape room. The videos before each room were really fun, and there was a great cast of characters you may see in each room as well. The sets were really lovely, and each prop and puzzle was nicely crafted. There were good click sounds and things that dropped out from places, secret doors. So it got really fun just being able to what's coming up next? One thing that is very rare that I haven't found in most escape rooms is they've provided pens and a clipboard so you can take notes. Made things so much easier. Things that I didn't like. While grateful for the backup plans, the technical issues in Headspace definitely pulled from the immersion. The other thing that I didn't like was there were certain very obvious clues. In the Whitmore Manor, for example, there is a window with a bunch of random letters and numbers by them. And it's supposed to kind of look like it's written in the fog, but it was just very clearly printed on letters and numbers. And it's like, okay, well, that's clearly a puzzle. And it just felt so out of place. So there were more obvious puzzles and clues like that in the Whitmore Manor compared to Headspace, which since Headspace had more like medical implements and things of that nature, then it felt, more in theme and fun to find all of the hidden keys everywhere. As for accessibility, Headspace requires at least one person who is comfortable crawling into a secluded space. Headspace also has flickering lights, but that can be turned off. As for the Whitmore Estate, it's much more open for movement, but does require a little bit of reaching for certain puzzles. Both rooms have slight horror elements, but it is not meant to be scary in any way. If medical equipment or blood makes you squeamish, maybe avoid Headcase. For the audience, since both rooms have slight horror elements to it, I would recommend teens and older who would appreciate both the theme and be able to participate in the puzzles a lot better. For personal recommendations, make sure to arrive early so you can have the full playtime and also fill out the waivers. Make sure to wear comfortable clothes for movement and potentially crawling. And don't worry about bringing personal belongings or coats. There are free lockers to use when you arrive, so bring anything you need. Both of Breaking Point's games are really fun and a great activity to do with friends. They run the room multiple times in a day, so make sure to book ahead of time. You can also get a discount on your second room if you play both in the same day. I recommend checking them out and also checking out their new room coming out this month called Crystal Cave that takes place in an enchanted forest. I hope to see it as soon as they announce it for the release day. Until next time, remember to leave out a bowl of milk on the second Tuesday of September every leap year. Check out our website, immersivexps.com, to join our free Ko-fi, which will have visuals and additional content of the immersive experiences discussed in each episode. You are an immersive experience artist or creator, no matter how small. Consider contacting us so you can take part on a future podcast. This podcast is recorded and produced by SoCal Podcast Studio in Orange County. Thanks for listening.